In lesson 3.6, we're going to construct a triangle. Remember, all these constructions are only with a compass and a straight edge. We're not using a protractor at all. Just a compass and a straight edge. We're not going to measure with a ruler. It could be any straight edge. It could be a credit card. It could be a ruler, but we're not using the measurements on the ruler. So just remember with that. In construction, we're going to begin with 3 line segments. You can see here AD, BE, and CF. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to draw a line that is longer than the longest segment. So this line in red, you'll notice, is longer than the longest segment. The longest segment is the AD segment. Step 1, draw something longer than the longest segment. Use a straight edge. Next, after you've drawn that longest thing on past it, you're going to take your compass point and you're going to place it on A, on the left side of the segment. Put it down. You'll see a hole in your paper. Stretch your compass out all the way to the end of that segment and make an arc. So now, after I've done that, I go down below on the red line. I can see the compass point down there in the blue, and I have my compass already stretched out, and I make that arc. And what you'll notice is now that this part of that very longest line that you drew that was way longer than your long segment, that is the length of AD. Then, remembering that we had that very longest line that we drew that was longer than the segment, and then knowing that we had put our compass point on A, stretch it out, measure D, this segment in light blue being AD, we had already marked that off with our compass in light blue. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the second longest segment, in this case BE, and I'm going to put my compass point on B, and I'm going to measure how far it is to get to E, and I'm going to make an arc out in space where the E is. Then I will take my compass point, put it on the left side where A is, measuring that, and then my compass is already stretched out to the length of BE, and I'm going to make an arc out in space. And that's it for that step. Next, since I already know that I have my super long line or segment or whatever that I drew, and I've already marked in light blue the distance from A to D, which we know is this distance right here because I marked it off on that very long line or segment. And then next, after I've done that, I went to my B, put my compass point on B, measured from B to E with my compass, had stretched out from point A and made that arc out in space. My next step, because now I know that BE is this length in orange and AD is this length in light blue, I'm going to go to my final segment and I'm going to put my compass point on C. I'm going to stretch my compass out all the way to the end and mark off with an arc the measurement of CF. Now what I do is I go all the way over to where D was on the right-hand side of the light blue segment, place my compass point there, and my compass is already stretched out to the distance of CF, so I just make an arc out in space. And now the cool thing about this is, once you make those arcs, you will see that you have a place where they intersect. And so you know that BE is the distance from your compass point to where those two arcs are intersecting, and the length of CF is the distance from D to where those two arcs are intersecting. So the light blue, pink, and orange segments have constructed the triangle with those 3 segment pieces. Again, leave all of your arc marks.